I'll never forget the woman who came to see me in Los Angeles many years ago. She was in tears, real tears streaming down her face. She sat across from me in my office, and she told me, "Dr. Murphy, I've tried everything. I've prayed every day. I've wished with all my heart. I've worked so hard. But nothing changes. Nothing ever changes. I'm stuck in the same life, the same problems, the same struggles. I feel like I'm going in circles." I looked at her with compassion because I could see the sincerity in her eyes. This was a woman who genuinely wanted to change her life. She wasn't lazy. She wasn't giving up. She was trying. But trying wasn't working. And I said to her, "My dear, let me ask you something very simple. Tell me exactly what you say to yourself each morning when you wake up. What are the first thoughts that come into your mind? What words do you speak to yourself before you even get out of bed?" She paused, she thought about it, and then she admitted something that many of you listening right now might recognize in yourselves. She said, "Well, Dr. Murphy, I usually wake up and immediately start thinking about all my problems. I think about the bills I have to pay. I think about the job I don't like. I think about how hard everything is. And I say things to myself like, I hope today is better than yesterday. Or, I'll try my best to get through this day. Or, maybe something good will happen today." And right there, in that moment, I saw the problem as clear as day. She was using the language of doubt, the language of effort and struggle, the language of uncertainty. Every single word she spoke to herself was keeping her locked in the very prison she was trying to escape from. Hope, try, maybe. These words, innocent as they seem, were commanding her subconscious mind to keep her in a state of hoping, trying, and uncertainty, never actually having, never actually being, always reaching but never grasping. So I taught her the hidden command, the exact words that bypass resistance and speak directly to the subconscious mind. I taught her how to change her inner speech from the language of lack to the language of acceptance, from the language of future, hoping to the language of present fulfillment. Within 30 days, not 30 years, not even 30 months, but 30 days, this woman's entire life had transformed. She got the job she had been wanting for years. Her health, which had been declining, suddenly improved. Her relationships became harmonious. And she wrote me a letter, and in that letter she said something I'll never forget. She said, "Dr. Murphy, I finally understand. It was never about trying harder. It was never about hoping more. It was never about being more worthy or more spiritual. It was simply about speaking differently to my subconscious mind. Today, you're going to learn that same command, that same secret, that same key that unlocks everything." My dear friend, what I'm about to share with you is not philosophy. It's not abstract theory that sounds nice but doesn't work in the real world. This is the most practical truth you'll ever encounter about how your mind actually works. Not how people think it works. Not how books sometimes mislead you into thinking it works. But how it actually scientifically, spiritually, practically works. You're going to discover the exact internal command that causes your subconscious mind to accept your desires as already accomplished, bypassing doubt, bypassing resistance, bypassing all the mental blocks that have held you back, and activating the law of your mind instantly, not eventually, not someday, but instantly. The moment you give the right command in the right way, something shifts. Something changes. The gears begin to turn. Now I know you've probably tried affirmations before. You've probably stood in front of a mirror and repeated positive statements. Maybe you've tried visualizations. Maybe you've created vision boards. Maybe you've written down your goals. Maybe you've prayed with all your heart. And maybe you've wondered, why does this work for some people but not for me? Why do some people manifest their desires while I stay stuck? Why does nothing seem to change no matter what I do? I'm going to show you exactly why that happens, and the answer is going to surprise you because it's so simple. Most people's affirmations fail, not because affirmations don't work, but because they're phrased incorrectly. They're phrased as begging, as pleading, as future hoping, as desperate wishing. They're speaking to their subconscious mind in a language it doesn't understand, or worse, in a language that actually reinforces the very lack they're trying to escape. But when you learn the precise language that your subconscious responds to, when you learn the hidden command, everything changes. Not might change, not could change, everything changes. Because you're finally working with the law instead of against it. You're finally speaking the language your subconscious understands and responds to. You see, if you've ever felt like you're fighting against your own mind, if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but your life stays stuck, if you've ever wondered if you're doing it right, then what I'm sharing today will answer all of those questions. You're going to receive crystal clear steps, examples, and a framework so simple that a child could use it. And more than that, you're going to understand why effort creates resistance and how the hidden command works with your subconscious, not against it. Now, I've spent my entire life studying the workings of the subconscious mind, not as theory but as living truth. I've counseled thousands of people from all walks of life, and I've seen the same pattern again and again. Those who learn this hidden command experience what others call miracles, not because they're special, but because they've aligned themselves with the law of their own mind. Let me paint you a picture of what life looks like before and after this understanding. Before, you're trying, you're hoping, you're wishing, you're struggling. You're repeating affirmations with secret doubt underneath. You feel like you're talking to a wall. You watch other people succeed while you stay stuck in the same patterns, the same circumstances, the same limitations. But after you learn the hidden command, something shifts. You begin speaking with quiet authority. You feel the shift happen internally before you see it externally. You watch circumstances rearrange themselves without force, without struggle. You experience synchronicities, doors open, opportunities appear, and you're living from the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now I need to clear up some misconceptions right away because these misconceptions are what keep people trapped. It's not about how many times you repeat something. It's about the feeling tone behind your words. It's not about convincing your subconscious mind. It's about commanding it with acceptance. It's not about the future. It's about collapsing time into the eternal now. And it's not complicated spiritual jargon. This is the simplest thing in the world once you understand it. You see, this isn't positive thinking as you've heard it before. This isn't the law of attraction as it's usually taught. This is the actual mechanism. This is the hidden command that the mystics knew, that the ancient wisdom traditions protected, and that modern psychology is only now beginning to understand, and you're going to learn it in plain language, right here, right now. I know you're tired of trying. I know you've been disappointed before. I know you wonder if this time will be different. But I want you to trust me for the next hour or so, not because I'm asking you to believe in me, but because I'm going to show you how to believe in the power that's already within you, the power of your own wonderful subconscious mind. So let me begin by sharing with you some stories that will open your eyes to how this works, and then I'm going to explain the mechanism, the law behind it. And finally, I'm going to give you specific practices that you can start using today. There was a man who came to me, let's call him Robert, and he had been unemployed for a year, a full year, 12 long months of rejection. He had sent out hundreds of applications. He told me he'd lost count after 300. He was qualified. He had a college degree. He had 10 years of experience in his field. He had good references. People who knew him spoke highly of him. But he kept getting rejected, interview after interview, rejection after rejection. He came to me frustrated, and honestly, he was losing hope. His savings were running out. His wife was worried. His children didn't understand why Daddy couldn't find a job. He said, "Dr. Murphy, I don't understand what's happening. I'm doing everything right. I prepare for every interview. I research the company. I dress professionally. I answer the questions well. The interviews seem to go fine, but then they always choose someone else. Always. It's like there's some invisible force working against me." So I asked him a very simple question. I said, "Robert, tell me, what do you say to yourself before each interview? What's going through your mind as you're sitting in that waiting room waiting to be called in? What are you thinking as you're driving to the interview? What words are running through your head?" He thought about it for a moment, and then he said, "Well, I usually think, I hope they like me. I hope I don't say anything stupid. I hope I get this job because I really need it. I hope I'm good enough. I hope they don't notice how nervous I am. I try to calm myself down. I try to remember what I want to say. I try to appear confident even though I'm not feeling confident inside." And right there I saw the problem. Do you hear it? Every sentence began with either hope or try. Hope they like me. Try to appear confident. Hope I get this job. Try to calm down. Now, most people think hope is a positive word. They think they're being optimistic when they say they hope. But let me tell you something about the word hope that nobody tells you, something that's going to change how you think about your own inner speech. Hope is the language of lack. Hope is the language of uncertainty. When you say I hope, what you're really saying to your subconscious mind is, I don't have this yet. I'm not sure if I'll get it. I'm uncertain about the outcome. There's doubt in my mind. And your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant that it is, being the perfect mirror of your dominant thoughts and feelings, says, yes, master, you are uncertain. Yes, master, you are doubtful. Yes, master, you don't have it yet. And it creates circumstances that match that inner speech. It must. It's law. It has no choice but to reflect your inner assumptions. And the word try is even more insidious. When you say you're trying, you're implying struggle, effort, difficulty, and the possibility of failure. You're trying to be confident, which means you're not confident. You're trying to calm down, which means you're not calm. The subconscious hears the struggle, not the intention. So I taught him the hidden command. I said, Robert, from this moment forward, I want you to change your inner speech completely. Before every interview, instead of saying, I hope they like me, instead of saying, I'll try my best, I want you to say with feeling, with conviction, with acceptance, I am now employed in my perfect position. I am appreciated and well compensated. I am valued for my skills and experience. This job or something better is now mine. You're going to say it in the present tense, as if it's already true, as if it's already done, as if you're simply stating a fact, not I will be employed someday in the future, not I hope to be employed if I'm lucky. But I am employed. Now, already, done, accomplished, finished. At first he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, but Dr. Murphy, that's not true. I'm sitting here in your office. I'm not employed. I don't have a job. How can I say I am employed when I'm clearly not employed? Isn't that lying? Isn't that denying reality? And I said to him what I'm going to say to you right now. You're not lying. You're commanding. You're not denying reality. You're creating a new reality. You're giving your subconscious mind a clear instruction, a clear image, a clear feeling of what you want it to create. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue with you. It doesn't say, oh really? Are you sure about that? Let me check your bank account. Let me verify with your employer. No, it doesn't debate what's true or false. It simply accepts the dominant conviction you give it with feeling. It simply says, yes, master, and begins to work. He was skeptical. I could see it in his eyes. But he was also desperate. He was at the end of his rope. So he agreed to try it. And notice I'm even using the word try now to show you how pervasive this language is. He agreed to do it. He agreed to practice it. He agreed to test it. Every day, before every interview, he would sit in his car, close his eyes, take a few deep breaths, and say with as much feeling as he could summon, I am now employed in my perfect position. I am appreciated and well compensated. Thank you. At first it felt fake to him. It felt like he was lying to himself. But I told him, persist, keep doing it, let the words sink deeper, let the feeling build. Imagine how it would feel to get that call, to hear the words, we'd like to offer you the position. Feel the relief, feel the joy, feel the gratitude, and something remarkable happened, something that happens every single time someone truly applies this principle correctly. Within 2 weeks, he received 3 job offers. 3. After a year of getting nothing but rejections, of hearing nothing but we've decided to go with another candidate, suddenly 3 different companies wanted him. 3 companies were calling him, emailing him, asking him to come work for them. Now, did the job market suddenly change in 2 weeks? Did his qualifications suddenly improve? Did his resume suddenly get better? Did he suddenly become a different person? No. What changed was his inner speech. What changed was the command he was giving to his subconscious mind. He stopped speaking from lack and started speaking from acceptance. He stopped speaking from doubt and started speaking from certainty. He stopped hoping and started knowing, and his subconscious mind, being the faithful servant, said, "Yes, Master, you are employed," and it moved heaven and earth to bring forth the evidence to match that inner conviction. When he called me to tell me the news, his voice was shaking. He said, "Dr. Murphy, I can't believe it. 3 offers. I have to choose between 3 jobs. After a year of nothing, I suddenly have 3 companies wanting me. How is this possible? What happened?" And I told him what I'm telling you right now. Nothing magical happened. Nothing supernatural. What happened is you aligned yourself with the law of your mind. You gave your subconscious a clear command. You impressed it with the feeling of already being employed, and it manifested that inner state as outer circumstances. It's law. It's as reliable as any law of nature. You see, my friend, your subconscious mind is like a faithful servant. The most faithful servant you could ever have. It never takes a day off. It never questions you. It never doubts you. When you speak with doubt, when you speak with hope and uncertainty, when you speak with fear and worry, it says, "Yes, Master, you are doubtful. Yes, Master, you are uncertain. Yes, Master, you are worried." And it faithfully creates circumstances that match those feelings. But when you speak with acceptance, when you speak in the present tense with feeling, when you command it with certainty and faith, it says, "Yes, Master, it is done." And it moves mountains, it opens doors, it arranges circumstances, it brings people into your life, it creates opportunities that seem to come out of nowhere. All because you gave it a clear command. Now you might be thinking, but what if I don't believe it yet? What if it feels like I'm lying to myself? What if I can't conjure up the feeling because my circumstances are screaming the opposite at me? That's exactly what the next story is going to answer. And this story, my dear friend, touches on something even deeper. This story is about healing, about the body, about conditions that doctors call incurable. There was a woman, let me call her Margaret, who came to see me several years ago. She had been diagnosed with a condition that the doctors said was permanent, progressive, and incurable. They had run all the tests. They had consulted with specialists. They had given her the diagnosis with that tone of finality that doctors sometimes use when they've given up hope. They told her, "This is how it is now. You need to accept your limitations. You need to adjust your expectations for your life. You need to manage the symptoms for the rest of your life with medication. There is no cure. We're very sorry, but this is your reality now." Now, when Margaret came to me, she wasn't coming asking for a miracle. She wasn't asking me to heal her. She wasn't asking me to prove the doctors wrong. She said, "Dr. Murphy, I'm not even asking to be healed anymore. I've accepted that maybe this is my lot in life. But I just want to stop being so afraid. I'm afraid all the time. I wake up afraid. I go to sleep afraid. I'm afraid of getting worse. I'm afraid of becoming a burden. I'm afraid of the future. I'm afraid of the pain. I just want some peace. Can you help me find peace?" And I looked at her with great compassion because I understood her struggle. I understood the weight of that diagnosis. I understood how the medical establishment, with all its authority, can make you feel like your fate is sealed, like there's no hope, like you just have to resign yourself to suffering. But I also knew something she didn't know yet, something the doctors didn't tell her because they don't know it themselves. I knew that her subconscious mind, connected as it is to infinite intelligence, to the healing power of the universe, to the wisdom of the body, could restore her to perfect health if she would only give it the right command. If she would only impress upon it the right image. If she would only feel the right feeling. So I looked at her and I said, "Margaret, my dear, I'm going to teach you something that's going to sound strange at first. It's going to sound like I'm asking you to deny reality. It's going to sound like I'm asking you to lie to yourself. But I promise you, if you will do what I tell you with sincerity, with persistence, with faith, something will change. Note, might change, will change." She looked at me with tired eyes, eyes that had cried too many tears, and she said, "I'll do anything. I've tried everything else. What do I have to lose?" I said, "Before you go to sleep tonight, I want you to do something different, something you've never done before. Don't pray for healing. Don't beg God to make you well. Don't plead with the universe to take this condition away. Don't ask for anything. Instead, I want you to claim something. I want you to accept something. I want you to say with feeling, with conviction, as if you're stating a simple fact, I am whole, I am perfect health. Thank you. Just those simple words. I am whole. I am perfect health. Thank you. Say it as if it's already true. As if you're not sick at all. As if you're simply reminding yourself of what has always been true. As if you're remembering your natural state. As if the diagnosis was a mistake and you're correcting that mistake in your own mind. As if you're stating a fact about who you really are beneath all appearances. She looked confused. She said, "But Dr. Murphy, that's not true. I am sick. The tests prove it. The doctors confirm it. My body tells me every day that I'm sick. How can I say I am whole when I clearly am not whole? How can I say I am perfect health when I'm living with this condition? It feels dishonest. It feels like denial." And I said to her, "Margaret, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. To your conscious mind, and to your current circumstances, yes, you appear to be sick. The tests show disease. The doctors confirm disease. Your body manifests symptoms of disease. But to your subconscious mind, to the infinite intelligence within you, to the creative power that formed your body in the first place, you are already whole. You are already perfect. Disease is not your natural state. Health is your birthright. Health is the natural condition of your body when your mind is in harmony. Your body knows how to heal. It heals cuts without you thinking about it. It heals bruises. It fights infections. It regenerates cells. Trillions of processes are happening right now in your body to maintain health. But when your conscious mind accepts disease as permanent, when you speak the language of sickness, when you identify yourself with the diagnosis, you're giving your subconscious mind a command to maintain that state. You're telling it, "I am sick. Keep me sick. This is who I am now." But when you claim health, when you accept health, when you identify yourself with wholeness even when the evidence says otherwise, you're giving your subconscious mind a new command. You're telling it, "I am whole. Restore me to wholeness. This is who I really am." And your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant, must respond. It's law. She was silent for a moment. I could see her mind working, trying to understand, trying to believe. Finally, she said, "I'll do it. What do I have to lose? If it doesn't work, I'm no worse off than I am now." So she promised me she would do it. Every night before sleep, she would say with as much feeling as she could, "I am whole. I am perfect health. Thank you." She went home that day, and that night, lying in bed in pain, in fear, in doubt, she spoke those words. "I am whole. I am perfect health. Thank you." She told me later that for the first week, it felt completely mechanical. It felt like empty words. It felt like she was play acting. It felt ridiculous. She was lying in bed in pain, saying, "I am whole," and her body was screaming at her that she wasn't whole. Her mind was arguing with her, saying, "This is stupid. You're sick. This isn't going to work. You're wasting your time." But she persisted. She kept saying it, night after night. "I am whole. I am perfect health. Thank you." And somewhere in the second week she told me, something shifted. The words started to carry a different quality. They started to feel less mechanical and more real. She started to feel a warmth in her heart when she said them. Not hope, because hope implies uncertainty, but something deeper. A quiet knowing. A gentle certainty. A sense that somehow, beneath all the evidence to the contrary, these words were true. That she was remembering something rather than creating something. She continued this practice every single night for weeks, then months. "I am whole. I am perfect health. Thank you." She would fall asleep in that feeling. She would imagine herself in perfect health, doing all the things she loved to do, feeling vibrant and alive and free. She would see herself hiking, gardening, playing with her grandchildren, laughing, moving without pain, living without fear. She would feel the joy of health in her body. She would feel the gratitude of being well. And her subconscious mind received that command, night after night, impression after impression, feeling after feeling. And she did something else too. Throughout the day, whenever fear would come, whenever pain would remind her of her condition, whenever she would see the medication bottles and remember her diagnosis, she would gently redirect her mind. She would say quietly to herself, "I am whole. I am perfect health. This is temporary. I am healing. I am restored. My body knows how to heal. Infinite intelligence is working in me now. I am returning to perfect health." 6 months passed. 6 months of this daily, nightly practice. 6 months of impressing her subconscious mind with the image and feeling of perfect health. 6 months of refusing to identify with the disease, of refusing to speak the language of sickness, of refusing to accept the diagnosis as final. And then she went back to her doctors for a routine checkup. The doctors ran the tests. Standard procedure. They were just checking to monitor the progression of the disease, to adjust medication, to manage symptoms. But when the results came back, they were confused. They called her in. They said, "We need to run these tests again. There must be some mistake." She felt her heart racing. She thought, "Oh no, it's gotten worse." But they ran the tests again. And then they ran them a third time. They brought in other doctors to look at the results. Finally, they sat her down and said, "We don't know how to explain this. The condition has reversed, not improved, not stabilized, reversed, completely. The markers we look for are gone. The damage we saw before is no longer there. Your body appears to be in perfect health. We don't have a medical explanation for this. This doesn't usually happen. In fact, in your case, it shouldn't be possible according to everything we know." They called it spontaneous remission. They wrote it in her charts as unexplained recovery. They said, "We're very pleased, of course, but we're baffled. We don't understand what happened. You're very lucky. It's a mystery." But Margaret knew what happened. She didn't argue with them. She didn't try to explain. She didn't tell them about the hidden command, about impressing the subconscious mind, about the law of belief. She simply smiled and said, "Thank you for all your help." But inside, she knew, it wasn't luck. It wasn't a mystery. It wasn't unexplained. It was law, the law of her own mind. Later she wrote me a letter. She sent it to my office, and I still remember it. She wrote, "Dr. Murphy, I finally understand what you were trying to teach me. It wasn't about trying harder to get well. It wasn't about being good enough or deserving enough or spiritual enough. It wasn't about convincing God to heal me or persuading the universe to make an exception for me. It was about giving my subconscious mind a clear command with feeling. It was about accepting health as already mine, as my natural state, as my birthright, not as something I had to earn or beg for. It was about changing my inner speech from 'I am sick' to 'I am whole.' And my body responded. My subconscious mind responded. The infinite intelligence within me responded. Thank you for teaching me this. You saved my life. You see, my friend, your subconscious mind doesn't argue. It doesn't debate. It doesn't say, 'Well, let me consult with the doctors first. Let me check your medical records. Let me verify if this is possible.' No, it simply accepts the dominant feeling, the dominant conviction you give it. When you command it with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you impress upon it the image of perfect health, when you speak to it with acceptance and faith, it must respond. Not because of magic, not because of luck, not because you're special, but because of law, the law of your own mind. It's as reliable as the law of gravity. It never fails. It cannot fail. It simply is. But here's what's fascinating, and this is where most people make a critical mistake that I need to explain. Most people, when they try to use their mind to create change, they pray from lack. They affirm from need. They visualize from desperation. And desperation is a command just as much as acceptance is a command. When you say, "Please God, I need this so badly," when you say, "I hope this works because I'm desperate," what you're really commanding your subconscious mind to accept is the state of desperation, the state of need, the state of lack. And your faithful subconscious says, "Yes, Master, you are in lack, you are in need," and it perpetuates that state. Let me share with you a personal story from my own life, because I want you to know that I've been where you are. There was a time in my life when I felt completely powerless. I had all this knowledge. I had studied the great books. I had learned about the subconscious mind, but my own circumstances seemed to mock me. I was struggling financially. I would pray, and nothing would happen. I would affirm, and nothing would change. I felt like a fraud. How could I teach these principles when my own life was not demonstrating them? And then one night, late at night, I was sitting alone in my room, and something clicked. I realized what I had been doing wrong. I had been speaking to my subconscious mind like I was begging, like I was asking permission, like I was unsure. I was saying, I hope to have abundance. I want to be prosperous. I wish things would change. Every word was future tense. Every word was uncertain. Every word was lack. And in that moment, I stopped trying. I stopped hoping. I stopped wishing. I sat quietly, and I dared to assume the feeling of financial freedom, not hope for it, not desire for it, but the actual feeling, the relief, the security, the generosity I would feel if I already had abundance. I let that feeling wash over me. I didn't try to convince myself. I simply allowed myself to feel it. And then I spoke to my subconscious mind. I said, I am financially free. Money flows to me easily and constantly. I am rich. And as I said those words, I felt them as true, not as future, not as possibility, but as present reality, as now. Within days, unexpected money came. An old debt was repaid that I had forgotten about. Opportunities appeared out of nowhere. People reached out to me. Everything shifted, not over months, but immediately. The outer circumstances began to conform to my inner conviction. Now, was it magic? No, it was law. It was the law of my own subconscious mind responding to a clear command given with feeling and acceptance. You see, my friend, your outer world is a mirror of your inner conversations. Your life right now is a perfect reflection of what you've been saying to yourself, consciously or unconsciously, day after day, month after month, year after year. Change your inner speech and the outer world must conform, not might conform, must conform. It's law. Now let me share one more story that will show you the exact moment the hidden command becomes real. There was a young man, barely 20 years old, who wanted to go to college. He came from a poor family. There was no money for tuition. There was no apparent way for him to go. His father said, "Son, it's just not possible. You need to get a job. You need to help the family. Forget about college." But this young man had a burning desire. He wanted to learn. He wanted to educate himself. He wanted to make something of his life. So he came to me and he said, "Dr. Murphy, what do I do? I want to go to college so badly, but there's no money. There's no way." And I could hear it in his voice. He was praying from desperation. So I stopped him. I said, "Listen carefully. Don't pray from lack. Don't pray from need. Don't say, 'Please God, let me go to college. I need this so badly.' That's the wrong prayer. That's the wrong command. Instead, I want you to say, 'I am now a student at the university of my dreams. I am grateful. I am there now.'" He looked at me confused. He said, "But I'm not a student. I haven't been accepted anywhere." I said, "To your conscious mind, you're not a student yet. But to your subconscious mind, to infinite intelligence, time doesn't exist. There is only the eternal now. When you accept something as true now, when you feel it as already accomplished now, your subconscious mind accepts it and begins to create the bridge of incidents that will make it so in your outer world." So he practiced this. Every night before he fell asleep, he would imagine sitting in a lecture hall. He would see the professor. He would hear the lesson. He would feel the satisfaction, the pride, the joy of being a college student. He would feel the weight of the books in his hands. He would see himself walking across campus. He made it real in his imagination. And as he fell asleep, he would say with feeling, "I am now a student at the university of my dreams. I am grateful. Thank you." He did this every single night for weeks. And here's what happened. Scholarships appeared that he didn't know existed. Relatives he barely knew reached out and offered to help. Doors opened that were previously invisible. Within 2 months he was enrolled. Full scholarship. Everything taken care of. He wrote me later and said, "Dr. Murphy, it was like the universe conspired to make it happen. But I know the truth. My subconscious mind conspired to make it happen because I gave it a clear command. You see, the moment you stop asking and start accepting, the moment you stop begging and start commanding, your subconscious mind receives a clear instruction it can act upon. It doesn't respond to begging. It doesn't respond to hoping. It responds to acceptance, to conviction, to the feeling of already having. So now you're beginning to see the pattern, aren't you? There's a formula here, a law. And now I'm going to explain exactly how it works. I'm going to take you deeper into the mechanism so you understand not just what to do but why it works. Let me tell you about the nature of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is not rational. It doesn't think. It doesn't analyze. It doesn't judge. It accepts. It's like the soil that accepts any seed, good or bad, without judgment. You can plant a seed of a beautiful rose and the soil will grow it. You can plant a seed of a poisonous weed and the soil will grow that too. The soil doesn't say, "Oh, I'll only grow the good seeds." No, it accepts whatever you plant. Your subconscious mind is the same. Think of your subconscious mind as the most faithful servant you've ever had. It never argues. It never questions. It never says, "Are you sure about that?" When you give it a command with feeling and conviction, it simply says, "Yes, Master," and begins to work day and night to bring it to pass. Now here's the key distinction you must understand. Your conscious mind thinks, chooses, reasons, analyzes, doubts. Your subconscious mind accepts, believes, manifests, creates. Your conscious mind is the gardener. Your subconscious mind is the garden. Your conscious mind plants the seeds through thoughts and words and feelings. Your subconscious mind grows them into reality. And here's what this means for you. It means you are always commanding your subconscious. The question is not if you're commanding it, but what you're commanding it to do. Every thought you think with feeling is a command. Every word you speak to yourself is a command. If you say, "Life is hard," your subconscious says, "Yes, Master, life is hard," and it makes it so. If you say, "I'm unlucky," your subconscious says, "Yes, Master, you are unlucky," and it creates unlucky circumstances. If you say, "I never have enough money," your subconscious says, "Yes, Master, you never have enough money," and it keeps you in lack. But if you say, "I am blessed," your subconscious says, "Yes, Master, you are blessed," and it brings you blessings. If you say, "I am abundant," your subconscious says, "Yes, Master, you are abundant," and it creates abundance. If you say, "Everything works out for me," your subconscious says, "Yes, Master, everything works out for you," and it orchestrates circumstances to make that true. Now, from a scientific perspective, your subconscious mind controls all your bodily functions, all your habits, all your automatic patterns below conscious awareness. It's running programs all the time. From a spiritual perspective, it is your connection to infinite intelligence, to God, to the creative power of the universe. From a practical perspective, it is your personal genie waiting for your command, and it gives you exactly what you command it to give you. So if the subconscious accepts everything, why doesn't everything we say come true? That's where the hidden command comes in. You see, your subconscious mind responds not to casual thoughts, but to thoughts charged with feeling, not to words spoken without conviction, but to words spoken with emotional intensity and acceptance. The hidden command is the way of speaking that penetrates the subconscious and impresses it deeply. And here's the formula. The hidden command is speaking to your subconscious mind in present tense, with feeling, as if your desire is already accomplished, with gratitude and acceptance. Let me break that down for you because this is the master key. First, present tense. Not I will be, but I am. Not I hope to have, but I have. Your subconscious mind exists in the eternal now. It doesn't understand past or future. When you say, "I will be happy," you're keeping happiness always in the future. Tomorrow never comes. It's always today. But when you say, "I am happy now," your subconscious mind accepts this as current reality and begins to manifest evidence of it. Second, with feeling. This is crucial. Emotion is the language of the subconscious. Words without feeling are like seeds without water. They won't grow. When you say, "I am wealthy," but you don't feel wealthy, nothing happens. But when you say, "I am wealthy," and you summon the actual feeling of wealth, the relief, the freedom, the security, the generosity, that feeling impresses your subconscious deeply, and your subconscious responds to feeling. Third, as if accomplished. You must feel the satisfaction of already having your desire, not the longing for it, not the yearning for it, but the fulfillment of it, the joy of already possessing it. the gratitude of already living it. This is what the mystics call living in the end. You're not visualizing to get something, you're visualizing from the place of already having it. Fourth, gratitude. Thankfulness is the feeling of receiving. When you say thank you for something before you have the physical evidence, you're commanding your subconscious from the state of already having it. Gratitude seals the command. It's the final touch that says, it is done. So let me give you some contrast so you can see the difference clearly. Wrong way. I hope I get healthy. This is doubt, future tense, lack. Right way. I am healthy now. I am whole. Thank you. This is acceptance, present tense, fulfillment. Wrong way. I want money. This keeps you in the state of wanting. Right way. I am wealthy. Money flows to me easily. Thank you. This moves you into the state of having. Wrong way. I need a relationship. Need implies lack. Right way. I am loved. I am in a beautiful, harmonious relationship. Thank you. This accepts it as already true. Wrong way. I'm trying to feel confident. Trying implies effort and struggle. Right way. I am confident. I am poised and assured. Thank you. This claims it as your natural state. Now, many people resist this. It feels like lying. You think, but I'm not wealthy. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not confident. So how can I say I am when I'm not? And here's the truth, my dear friend. You're not lying. You're commanding. You're instructing your subconscious to make it so. And your subconscious doesn't care about current circumstances. Current circumstances are just the outpicturing of your old thoughts, your old assumptions, your old commands. They're the past made visible. When you give a new command, when you assume a new state, you're planting a new seed, and that seed must grow if you don't dig it up with doubt. Your subconscious only cares about the command you give it with feeling right now, and it will work tirelessly to bring your outer world into alignment with your inner conviction. Now, feeling is the secret. Let me explain why emotion is the hidden force behind every command. Your subconscious mind responds not to words alone, but to the feeling behind the words. Feeling is the power that impresses your subconscious. Imagine your subconscious mind is like clay. Your thoughts are your hands. Your feelings are the pressure you apply. Without pressure, without feeling, the clay remains unchanged. But with feeling, you shape it into whatever form you choose. This is why dry affirmations fail. Most people repeat affirmations like robots. I am wealthy, I am wealthy, I am wealthy. They say it 100 times with no feeling, no conviction, no emotional investment. It's like planting seeds on concrete. Nothing grows. But when you say, I am wealthy, just once, with deep feeling, with the actual sensation of wealth, with relief and freedom and gratitude, that one time with feeling is more powerful than 1,000 times without it. So how do you generate feeling? How do you summon the emotion of already having what you desire? Here are 3 ways. First, remember a time you felt the way you want to feel. If you want to feel confident, remember a time you felt confident. Recall that feeling. Let it fill you. Then transfer that feeling to your current desire. Second, imagine vividly the scene that implies your wish is fulfilled. Don't just see it like a movie. Be there. First person. What do you see through your own eyes? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you touch? Make it so real that your body responds. Make it so vivid that you forget you're imagining. That's when you've impressed your subconscious. Third, ask yourself, how would I feel if this were already true? Then feel it. Don't think about it. Feel it. Let your body respond. Let your heart respond. That feeling is the hidden command in action. Now, neuroscience backs this up. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you imagine something with enough sensory detail and emotion, your brain fires the same neural pathways as if it were actually happening, and your subconscious mind accepts it as reality. This is not mysticism. This is science. This is how your mind works. So we have present tense and we have feeling, but there's a third element most people miss, and it's the most important one. It's the power of assumption. To assume is to take something for granted, to accept it as true without proof, to claim it as already yours. When you assume your desire is already fulfilled, your subconscious mind accepts that assumption and hardens it into fact. The Bible says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Notice the tense, not will receive, have received, past tense. Already done. This is assumption. This is the hidden command. How does assumption work? Your subconscious mind doesn't need proof. It doesn't need evidence. It needs acceptance. The moment you assume something is true, you begin to think from that assumption. You begin to feel from that assumption. You begin to act from that assumption. And your outer world, your circumstances, your experiences all conform to your inner assumption. It's law. It's how reality works. Let me give you an example from the world of acting. An actor doesn't become a king by trying to convince himself he's a king. He doesn't walk around saying, "I hope I can play this king well. I'll try to be convincing." No. He simply assumes the state of being a king. He puts on the costume, and in his mind, he becomes the king. He thinks as a king thinks. He feels as a king feels. He speaks as a king speaks. He moves as a king moves. And the audience believes him. Why? Because he assumed it so completely that it became real. Your subconscious mind is the audience. When you assume your desire, when you think from it, feel from it, speak from it, your subconscious believes you, and it manifests that assumption in your outer world. Now, here's the common mistake people make. They assume their current circumstances are permanent. They look at their bank account and assume, "I am poor." They look at their relationship status and assume, "I am alone." They look at their health and assume, "I am sick." And these assumptions harden into fact because their subconscious mind accepts them and perpetuates them. But circumstances are not facts. Circumstances are simply the shadow of your inner assumptions. They're the outpicturing of what you've been assuming to be true. Change your assumption and the shadow changes. It must. It's law. So how do you practice assumption? Assume you are already the person who has what you desire. How does that person think? How does that person feel? How does that person speak? Assume that person now, not tomorrow, now. Assume the best possible outcome in every situation. When something challenging happens, don't assume the worst. Assume it's working in your favor. Assume that everything is conspiring for your good. Assume that your desire is already on its way to you. Live from the end. This is the secret. Don't think toward your desire. Think from your desire. Don't think about being wealthy. Think from wealth. What would you think about if you were already wealthy? What decisions would you make? What would you do with your time? Think those thoughts now. Now, here's where people get confused. They say, "But Dr. Murphy, what about all the negative thoughts that come up? What about doubt? I try to assume my wish fulfilled, but then doubt creeps in. What do I do?" Let me address that because this is important. Doubt will come, old patterns will resurface. Your conscious mind will say, "This isn't working. Nothing's changed. You're fooling yourself. This is normal." This is your old programming trying to maintain control. So what do? You don't fight the doubt. Fighting it gives it power. You simply return to the hidden command. Gently redirect your inner speech back to acceptance. Think of it like training a puppy. The puppy wanders off. You don't scold it harshly. You don't get angry. You simply guide it back, gently, patiently. Your mind is the same. When doubt arises, when negative thoughts come, don't judge yourself, don't feel like you've failed. Simply notice it, and gently guide your thoughts back to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, back to the hidden command. Your old inner conversations have been running for years, maybe decades. They've carved deep grooves in your subconscious mind. It takes time to carve new grooves. But every time you return to the hidden command, every time you redirect your speech from lack to acceptance, every time you choose to assume your wish fulfilled instead of dwelling on current circumstances, you deepen the new groove. And eventually, the new groove becomes the default. The new assumption becomes your natural state. Now, what not to do. Don't affirm against the negative. Don't say, "I am not poor." That reinforces poverty because your subconscious hears the word poor. Instead, say, I am wealthy. Don't try to force yourself to believe. Belief comes from persistence, not from force. Don't check constantly for evidence. Don't wake up every morning and say, is it working yet? Where's my manifestation? That's digging up the seed. That's doubt disguised as curiosity. What to do instead? Saturate your mind with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Morning and night, give yourself to this feeling. Practice the hidden command consistently. Live in the assumption throughout the day, and trust the law. It never fails. It cannot fail. It's as reliable as gravity. When you drop something, you don't check to see if gravity is working. You trust it. Trust the law of your mind the same way. So now you understand the mechanism, but you want to know, when will I see results? How long does this take? Let me explain the concept of the Sabbath. In the Bible it says, on the seventh day, God rested. This is not just a story about creation. This is a teaching about the law of mind. After you've commanded, after you've assumed, after you've felt your desire is already fulfilled, you rest. You let go. You trust. This is the Sabbath. This is resting in faith. What does this mean practically? After you speak the hidden command with feeling, after you've impressed your subconscious mind, you must let it go. You must release it. You must stop worrying about it. Stop trying to figure out how it will happen. Stop checking for evidence. You plant the seed, you water it with feeling, and then you trust the process. You don't dig up the seed every day to see if it's growing. That would kill it. The same with your desires. Plant the command in your subconscious through feeling and assumption. Water it with repeated feeling and conviction, then let it be. Trust that your subconscious is working on it even when you're not consciously thinking about it. Trust that infinite intelligence is orchestrating circumstances, arranging events, opening doors. Your job is to plant the seed and tend it with feeling. Your subconscious mind's job is to bring it forth. Here's the paradox. The more you try to force it, the more you delay it. Force implies doubt. Force implies effort. Force implies you don't believe it's already done. But the more you relax into knowing it's already accomplished, the more you rest in faith, the faster it manifests. This is the Sabbath. This is the rest that brings forth the harvest. How do you rest in faith practically? Say your command morning and night with feeling, then let it go during the day. When worry comes, when doubt creeps in, simply redirect with a gentle reminder, it is already done. Focus on living your life. Focus on being present. Don't obsess over the outcome. Trust that your subconscious is working while you're doing other things, while you're sleeping, while you're going about your day. Now let me share with you a deeper mystery. The mystery of living in the end. The hidden command is not just something you say once or twice a day. It becomes a state you live from. It's thinking from the wish fulfilled, not about the wish. This is advanced, but it's powerful. Here's the distinction. Thinking about your desire means you're separate from it. You're over here, and your desire is over there, and you're hoping to bridge the gap. But thinking from your desire means you're already there in consciousness. You've already crossed the bridge. You're living as if it's done. Example. If you desire financial abundance, don't think about being wealthy. Don't think, I want to be rich. I wonder when I'll be rich. How will I get rich? That's thinking about it. Instead, think from wealth. Think, what investment shall I make now that I'm wealthy? How much shall I donate? Where shall I travel? What good can I do with this abundance? That's thinking from wealth. That's living in the end. When you live in the end, you're not waiting for your desire. You're not hoping for it. You're not yearning for it. You're already there in consciousness. And your outer world must catch up to your inner world. It's law. It has no choice. The feeling of reality is the secret. Make your imagined state feel real. So real that it has the tones of reality. So real that you forget its imagination. So real that your body responds, your emotions respond, your entire being responds. When you achieve that, you've given the ultimate command to your subconscious mind. Here's a practical application. Before you fall asleep at night, this is the golden time. Replay a scene that would occur after your wish is fulfilled. Not the wish itself, but what comes after. If you desire health, don't imagine being healed. Imagine your doctor congratulating you on your perfect health. Imagine yourself running, playing, doing activities you couldn't do before. If you desire a relationship, imagine your partner saying, "I love you." Imagine feeling their embrace. Imagine introducing them to your friends. If you desire wealth, imagine checking your bank account and seeing the abundance. Imagine feeling the relief and freedom. Make it first person. Don't watch yourself like a movie. Be there. See it through your own eyes. Hear it with your own ears. Feel it with your own body. Make it sensory. What do you see? What colors? What details? What do you hear? What sounds? What voices? What do you feel? What textures? What temperatures? What emotions? Replay this scene over and over. Feel it as real. And fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Your subconscious mind is most impressionable in the drowsy state before sleep. Whatever you impress upon it then, it works on all night long. You'll wake up changed. You'll wake up with new ideas, new energy, new circumstances beginning to form. But here's the warning: don't fall asleep thinking about your problems. Don't fall asleep worrying about money, about health, about relationships. Don't fall asleep in fear or lack or doubt, because you're commanding your subconscious to create more of that. Fall asleep in your wish fulfilled. Fall asleep in gratitude. Fall asleep in peace. That's the command that transforms your life. Now, all of this raises a question. What if I command one thing but my life shows me another? What about circumstances? What about the evidence of my senses? Let me explain something crucial. Your current circumstances are not the cause of your life. They are the effect. They are shadows cast by your inner assumptions and habitual inner speech. They are the outpicturing of what you've been thinking and feeling and assuming, consciously or unconsciously. Most people live backwards. They look at their circumstances and then react. They see lack in their bank account, so they feel lack, so they speak lack, so they think from lack, so they create more lack. They're creating from the outside in, but that's backwards. That's not how the law works. The truth is this: you must learn to look away from circumstances and look instead to your consciousness. Your consciousness is cause, your inner state is cause, your assumptions are cause. Your habitual inner speech is cause. Circumstances are effect. They're the shadow. And you don't change the shadow by rearranging the shadow. You change the shadow by moving the object that casts it. Change your consciousness, change your inner speech, change your assumptions, and circumstances must change. Not might change, must change. The shadow has no choice but to conform to the object. Now I know this is difficult. It requires faith. It requires you to deny the evidence of your senses and affirm the evidence of your desired state. It requires you to believe in the invisible reality of your assumption more than the visible reality of your circumstances. But this is exactly what the hidden command does. It replaces the old assumption with a new one. It plants a new seed that must grow if you let it. I want to encourage you because I know it's hard to ignore what you see. It's hard to say I am healthy when you feel pain. It's hard to say I am wealthy when your bank account is empty. It's hard to say I am loved when you're alone. But remember, what you see now is the result of your old thinking. It's the past made visible. It's yesterday's thoughts crystallized into today's circumstances. Persist in your new assumption. Persist in the hidden command. Persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and you will see new circumstances arise. You will see evidence begin to appear. You will see synchronicities, opportunities, open doors, not because you forced them, but because you impressed your subconscious mind with a new command and it's faithfully bringing it forth. Now let me tell you something about the law that's both liberating and sobering. The law of your subconscious mind works for everyone, all the time, without exception. It doesn't judge. It doesn't choose. It doesn't say, "Oh, you're a good person, I'll give you what you want," or "You're a bad person, I'll withhold from you." No. It simply manifests whatever you impress upon it. It's impersonal. It's neutral. It's like electricity. Electricity doesn't care what you plug into it. Plug in a lamp, you get light. Plug in a heater, you get warmth. Plug in a radio, you get music. Plug in something dangerous, you get shocked. The electricity is neutral. It powers whatever you plug into it. Your subconscious mind is the same. Plug in fear through habitual fearful thoughts and feelings, and it manifests fearful circumstances. Plug in love and abundance through the hidden command, through assumption, through feeling, and it manifests loving and abundant circumstances. It doesn't judge which is better. It simply says yes to whatever you impress upon it with feeling. Now, the good news is you don't have to be worthy. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to be spiritual enough or good enough or deserving enough. You simply have to use the law correctly. Give your subconscious mind the right command with feeling and acceptance, and it must respond. It has no choice. The bad news, if we want to call it that, is the law also works when you impress it with lack, with fear, with limitation. If you habitually think and feel, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, I'm always unlucky, the law accepts that too. It manifests circumstances that match those assumptions. It's utterly faithful. It's utterly reliable. It never plays favorites. So here's the understanding that changes everything. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not a victim of luck or fate or other people. You are the creator of your circumstances through your habitual inner speech and assumptions. You've always been the creator. You just didn't know it. You were creating unconsciously. But now you're learning to create consciously, deliberately, with the hidden command. Now, I want to be honest with you about something. This teaching is simple, but applying it consistently requires discipline. It's not hard, but it requires attention. Your old habits of thought are strong. Your old inner conversations run automatically. You've been thinking the same thoughts, speaking the same inner words, assuming the same limitations for years, maybe decades. So when you start to change this, when you start to monitor your inner speech, when you start to replace lack with abundance, when you start to assume your wish fulfilled, it feels awkward at first. It feels unnatural. It feels like you're going upstream. And you are. You're going against the current of your old programming. But here's the encouragement. Every master was once a beginner. Every person who has transformed their life through these principles started exactly where you are now. The difference is they persisted. They practiced. They returned again and again to the hidden command. They refused to give up. They refused to go back to the old way of thinking. And if they can do it, so can you. You have the same subconscious mind they have. You have the same creative power. You have the same access to infinite intelligence. The only difference is knowledge and application, and today you're receiving the knowledge. Now it's up to you to apply it. So don't be discouraged if it feels awkward at first. Don't be discouraged if old thoughts return. Don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Remember, you're planting seeds. Seeds take time to grow. But if you persist, if you keep watering them with feeling and assumption, if you trust the process, they must grow. It's law. The law is on your side. The universe is on your side. Your subconscious mind is on your side. It wants to give you what you desire. It's waiting for your clear command, so give it that command. Speak in present tense. Speak with feeling. Assume your wish fulfilled, and rest in faith. Now, you've heard the stories, you've learned the principles, but knowledge without application is useless. So I'm going to give you specific practices, exact steps you can take starting today, tonight, and every day forward to use the hidden command and transform your life. Practice number 1, the morning command. Every morning before you start your day, before you check your phone, before you let the world in, sit quietly for just 2 or 3 minutes and speak the hidden command. This is how you program your subconscious first thing. This is how you set the tone for your day. Here's exactly what to do. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths to quiet your mind. Just breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. Then say to yourself in present tense with feeling, I am whatever your desire is. I have whatever your desire is. Thank you. Then feel the feeling of already having it. The relief, the joy, the satisfaction. Don't just say words. Feel it. Let the emotion fill you. Hold that feeling for 2 or 3 minutes. That's all. Just 2 or 3 minutes. Then open your eyes and begin your day from that state. Example commands, I am healthy, whole, and vibrant. Thank you. Feel the energy in your body. Feel the vitality. I am financially abundant. Money flows to me easily. Thank you. Feel the relief, the freedom, the security. I am loved and cherished. I am in a beautiful relationship. Thank you. Feel the warmth, the connection, the happiness. I am successful in my work. I am valued and appreciated. Thank you. Feel the confidence, the satisfaction, the pride. Choose one or two desires. Don't scatter your energy. Focus. And do this every single morning for 30 days without missing. Just 30 days, 30 mornings, and watch what happens. You're programming your subconscious before the world programs you. You're choosing your assumption before circumstances try to impose theirs. Practice number 2. The night technique, living in the end. Every night as you're falling asleep, this is the golden hour. Replay a scene that implies your wish is fulfilled. This is the most powerful time because your subconscious is most receptive. Whatever you impress upon it as you fall asleep, it works on all night long. Here's exactly what to do. Lie in bed ready for sleep. Close your eyes. Imagine a specific scene that would naturally occur after your wish is fulfilled. Make it simple. Make it short. Just a few seconds of action, but make it sensory. Make it real. See it from your own eyes, not like watching a movie. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel physically? What do you feel emotionally? Replay this scene over and over. Feel it as real, and fall asleep in that scene. Fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Examples. If you desire financial abundance, imagine checking your bank account on your phone and seeing the number you desire. Feel your thumb scrolling. See the numbers. Feel the relief washing over you. Replay it. Feel it. Fall asleep in that relief. If you desire a relationship, imagine your partner embracing you and saying, "I love you." Feel their arms around you. Hear their voice. Feel the warmth. Feel the love. Replay it. Feel it. Fall asleep in that love. If you desire health, imagine your doctor smiling and saying, "You're in perfect health. Everything looks great." Feel the gratitude. Feel the relief. Feel the joy. Replay it. Feel it. Fall asleep in that gratitude. This is not daydreaming. This is impressing your subconscious mind. This is commanding it with the feeling of reality. Your subconscious accepts it as true and begins to manifest it. Do this every night. Make it a sacred practice. Don't fall asleep in worry or fear or lack. Fall asleep in your wish fulfilled. Practice number 3. Monitoring your inner speech throughout the day. This is the hardest practice because your inner speech is mostly unconscious. But this is also the most important because your habitual inner speech is what creates your life. Throughout your day, become aware of what you're saying to yourself. What are you thinking? What are you assuming? Here's how to do it. Catch yourself when you speak in lack. I can't afford this. I'm so unlucky. This never works for me. I'm not good enough. I'll never get what I want. Catch those thoughts. Don't judge yourself. Just notice them. Then immediately, gently replace them with the hidden command. I am abundant. I am blessed. Everything works out for me. I am capable and worthy. I have everything I desire. Thank you. It's like being a gardener of your mind. You're pulling weeds, negative inner speech, and planting flowers, the hidden command. At first, you'll find a lot of weeds. That's normal. You've been letting them grow for years. But keep pulling them and planting flowers. Eventually, the garden changes. The flowers take over. Your default inner speech becomes positive, abundant, faithful, common inner speech to change. I'm so tired becomes I am energized and vibrant. I'm worried about money becomes I am financially secure. I hope this works out becomes this is working out perfectly. I'm not good enough becomes I am capable and worthy. I never have enough time becomes I have plenty of time. I'm so stressed becomes I am calm and centered. This takes discipline. Your old patterns are strong, but every time you catch yourself and redirect, you're installing new software. You're retraining your subconscious. You're carving new grooves, and after a few weeks of this, you'll notice something magical. Your default inner speech changes. You'll catch yourself naturally thinking abundant thoughts, confident thoughts, faithful thoughts, and your outer world will reflect that. Practice number 4. The gratitude command. Throughout your day, Say thank you for things you desire as if you already have them. This is powerful because gratitude is the feeling of receiving. When you say thank you before you have the physical evidence, you're commanding your subconscious from the state of already having it. Here's how to do it. As you go about your day, randomly, spontaneously say thank you. Thank you for my perfect health. Thank you for my abundant income. Thank you for my loving relationship. Thank you for this beautiful home. Thank you for all the blessings in my life. Say it silently or out loud. Say it with feeling. Say it as if you're receiving, as if you're acknowledging what's already yours. Don't wait to be grateful after you receive. Be grateful now, and you'll receive. Gratitude is not the result, it's the cause. It's the command that tells your subconscious, I have this, it's mine, thank you. And your subconscious responds by manifesting evidence of it. Practice number 5. The written command. Once a day, preferably in the morning or evening, write your desire in present tense as if it's already accomplished. Write it 10 to 15 times. This reinforces the command. Writing engages your mind differently than just thinking. It makes it concrete. It deepens the impression on your subconscious. Here's the format. I am your desire, thank you, or I have your desire, thank you. Write it with feeling, not mechanically. As you write each line, feel it as true. Feel the emotion. Feel the reality of it. Examples. I am financially free, thank you. I am in perfect health, thank you. I am happily married. Thank you. I am living in my dream home. Thank you. I am successful and fulfilled, thank you. Write it 10 to 15 times. That's all. It takes just a few minutes. Then at the end of the day, read what you wrote and feel it again before sleep. This is a double impression. Writing in the morning, reading before sleep. It brackets your day with the hidden command. So now you have 5 practices. Morning command, night technique, monitoring inner speech, gratitude throughout the day. Written command, these are your tools, these are your daily disciplines. You don't have to do all 5 every day, but the more you do, the faster you'll see results. At minimum, do the morning command and the night technique every single day. Those 2 alone will transform your life, if you persist. My dear friend, you now have the knowledge and the practices. You have the hidden command. You understand how your subconscious mind works. You know that it responds to present tense acceptance with feeling. You know that assumption hardens into fact. You know that feeling is the secret. You know that you must live in the end, think from the wish fulfilled, and rest in faith. But before we part, I want to leave you with one final truth that will seal everything we've discussed today. Your life is not shaped by what you say out loud, but by what you say silently to yourself all day long. Your inner speech, your inner conversations, your habitual thoughts and assumptions, these are the hidden commands that instruct your subconscious mind to create your reality. And the moment you change your inner speech, the moment you stop speaking from lack and start speaking from acceptance, the moment you stop speaking in future hope and start speaking in present certainty, the moment you speak with feeling and assumption and gratitude, that is the moment your life begins to change. You don't have to beg, you don't have to plead, you don't have to convince anyone or anything. You simply have to command your subconscious mind with acceptance and faith. Say it as if it's already true. Feel it as if it's already real. Live from the end, not toward it. Assume your wish fulfilled. Rest in that assumption. And watch, just watch, as your entire world rearranges itself to match your inner conviction. Remember, and never forget this, your subconscious mind is the most powerful force in your life. It never sleeps. It's always listening. It's always accepting. It's always working. And it's waiting for your command right now, in this very moment. It doesn't care what happened yesterday. It doesn't care what your circumstances look like today. It only cares about the command you give it right now with feeling. So I invite you to speak these words with me right now. Say them out loud if you can, or silently if you must. But say them with feeling, with conviction, with acceptance. I am the master of my mind. My thoughts are my servants. I command my subconscious mind with love, with faith, and with acceptance. I speak in the present tense of my desires fulfilled. I feel the joy of already having what I seek. I rest in faith, knowing that my subconscious mind is now bringing forth my good. I am blessed. I am abundant. I am loved. I am whole. I am healthy. I am successful. All that I desire is mine now. It is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Feel that, my friend. Let it sink deep into your subconscious mind. Let it penetrate every cell of your being. This is your command. This is your truth. This is your new reality. You are not the person you were when you started listening to this message. You are changed. You have received the hidden command, and your life will never be the same. Now, if this message has touched you, if something within you has awakened, if you feel the truth of what I've shared, I invite you to do 3 simple things. First, subscribe to this channel so you can continue receiving these teachings. There is so much more I want to share with you about the power of your subconscious mind. I have many more lessons, many more stories, many more practices that will help you on your journey. This is just the beginning. This is just one key, but there are many more keys I want to give you. Many more secrets, many more truths that will set you free. Second, if this resonated with you, if you felt the truth of it, if something clicked inside you, if you felt a stirring, a recognition, a knowing, click the like button. It seems like a small thing. It seems insignificant. But it helps this message reach others who need to hear it. Someone right now, in this very moment, is struggling. Someone is sitting alone in their room feeling hopeless. Someone is in despair. Someone is searching for answers, searching for a way out, searching for hope. And this message might be exactly what they need. This message might be the turning point in their life, just as it was for that woman in tears in my office, just as it was for Robert who couldn't find a job, just as it was for Margaret who was told she could never heal. So help me help them by clicking that like button. Be part of spreading this truth. And third, and this is perhaps the most important thing you can do right now, leave a comment below sharing your experience. Tell me what hidden command you're going to use starting today. Tell me what you're commanding your subconscious mind to create. Tell me what your wish fulfilled looks like. Declare it. Make it public. Make it real. When you declare it publicly, when you write it down in your own words, when you put it into language, when you commit to it in front of others, you reinforce it in your own mind. You make it more concrete. You make it more real. You deepen the impression on your subconscious mind. There's power in declaration. There's power in commitment. There's power in speaking your desire into existence. And I want you to know something. I personally read many of these comments. I see your declarations. I see your commitments. I see your hopes and your dreams and your desires. And I'm cheering for you. Every single one of you. I'm supporting you in consciousness. I'm holding the vision of your success. I believe in you. Even if you don't fully believe in yourself yet, I believe in you. Even if doubt still lingers, I believe in the power within you. I've seen it work too many times to doubt it. I've witnessed too many miracles to question it. My dear friend, hear me when I say this. You are not here by accident. You didn't stumble upon this message by chance. You didn't randomly click on this video. You were guided here. Your subconscious mind, connected as it is to infinite intelligence, to the wisdom of the universe, to the divine intelligence that knows all things, led you here because you were ready. You were ready to receive this teaching. You were ready to learn the hidden command. You were ready to transform your life. You were ready to step into your power. You were ready to claim your birthright of health and happiness and prosperity and peace. The fact that you're still listening, the fact that you've stayed with me this entire time, the fact that you've absorbed these words, that tells me something about you. That tells me you're serious. That tells me you're committed. That tells me you're not just a casual seeker, but someone who truly wants to change, someone who's willing to do the work, someone who's ready to apply these principles. And now you have everything you need. You have the knowledge. You have the understanding of how your subconscious mind works. You have the stories that prove it works. You have the formula, the hidden command, the exact language that your subconscious responds to. You have the practices, the specific steps you can take every single day. You have examples. You have guidance. You have everything. Now it's up to you. Now comes the crucial part. Knowledge without application is worthless. Understanding without action changes nothing. So I'm going to ask you some questions. And I want you to answer them honestly in your heart. Will you apply what you've learned? Will you actually do it? Will you practice the morning command tomorrow morning when you wake up? Will you practice the night technique tomorrow night before you fall asleep? Will you monitor your inner speech throughout the day and catch yourself when you slip back into the old language of lack and doubt? Will you